From the national series of the Liberia Broadcasting System, good afternoon. Welcome to Newsline, 1 hour of major happenings about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of the world. Today is the 25th day of November 2025, and I'm Alexandra. I'm not presenting. In the headlines, President Joseph Boakai arrives in Morocco to address the 17th Med Days Forum. Government announces reduction in annual lessons fees for all artisanal casinos across Liberia. National AIDS Control Program dispels social media reports of stigmatizing Dupont Road community in recent HIV infection rate. And away from home, nearly 35 million people in northern Nigeria are projected to face severe food insecurity in 2026. These stories, the news bulletin sports, the news in simple English and French, plus our foreign developments are coming up on this edition of Newsline. But first, Grace Tower says to pace with the news bulletin.
President Joseph Boakai and his delegation are in Morocco to participate in the 17th Med-Days Forum in Tangier. President Boakai is the first among 5 heads of state and government expected to address the opening of the forum, which will take place from November 26 to 29. An executive mention release says the president is traveling at the invitation of King Mohammed VI, under whose high patronage the internationally renowned Medes Forum is convened. Following his address, President Boakai will receive the prestigious Grand Prix Medes, the highest honor presented during the forum. The award recognizes his leadership in strengthening democratic governance, vision for national renewal and international reforms, commitment to peace, stability, and regional cooperation, and efforts to rebrand Liberia as a credible, responsible, and forward-looking nation. Throughout the forum, President Boakai will engage with fellow heads of state and government, international policymakers, business leaders, Nobel laureates, and other prominent global actors. The president is accompanied by a small delegation of senior government officials. The release noted that while the president is away, the Minister of State, Samuel Steve Kuya, will chair the cabinet. President Boakai is expected to return to the country on November 28. Government has announced a reduction in the annual license fees for all artisanal canoes across the country. Vice President Jeremiah Cohn, representing President Boakai at the commissioning of the new fiberglass fishing vessel Monday, said the directive comes into full swing effective January 1, 2026. According to Vice President Cohn, for fishermen using paddle canoes, the annual fee drops from 50 to 30 United States dollars. For those with 1 to 15 horsepower engines, the fee is reduced from 250 to $175. And for canoes with 16 to 40 horsepower engines, the new fee is $350, down from 450.
Fishermen have asked for release to pay. Voices has been heard. Let me emphasize that agriculture remains a priority of this government. The fisheries sector is an integral part of our national priorities.
VP Kun said these reductions are a clear demonstration of the government listens and that we stand with the fishermen and women. He noted that the president is directing the National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority (NAFA) to put in place the necessary modalities to ensure that the new fees are well communicated and implemented effectively across all coastal communities. Meanwhile, Vice President Jeremiah Cohn has reaffirmed President Joseph Boakai's unwavering commitment to the growth and transformation of Liberia's fisheries sector. VP Cohn said the commissioning of Liberia's first semi-industrial fiberglass fishing vessel is not just a milestone for NAFA, but a historic step forward for Liberia under the Arrest Agenda for Inclusive Development. He said the vessel stands as a direct pathway to create jobs for Liberians, growth for the country's economy, and hope for the nation's coastal communities. According to VP Kuhn, the fiberglass vessel symbolizes the determination of the government to harness the vast potential of Liberia's marine resources for the benefit of all Liberians. Through the vessel VP concert, government is paving the way for increased local fish harvest, reducing dependence on imported fish, and ensuring that more of the wealth from the country's waters remains in the hands of Liberians. The National AIDS Control Program at the Health Ministry has dispelled social media reports stigmatizing the Dupuru community of reporting the highest HIV/AIDS cases. The program manager, Dr. Jonathan Flomo, described the report as false and misleading, adding that HIV/AIDS data is confidential and not disaggregated to point out specific communities. Dr. Flomo is, however, encouraging citizens to get tested to know their HIV status to protect themselves from contracting the disease.
Very sad anyway, for somebody to just come up with their own numbers, put a finger, stigmatize certain communities. We saw that to be very, very bad. And honestly, we need to desist from those kind of habits. When it comes to HIV and confidentiality, our data are not disaggregated to that extent that you just go to say people who is like this, people. You can find that anywhere.
The National AIDS Control Program Manager also commended government for the allotment made in the 2026 draft budget for the HIV program. He said this is the first time for the program to be reflected in the draft budget, describing the action as a great step in ensuring citizens receive the required HIV services. Speaking on the Health Ministry's Roadway to Health program on ELBC, Dr. Flomo said the program is working closely with various communities and the network of people living with HIV for more continuous sensitization. The Liberian government says it is partnering with a team of Indian dental experts to launch national dental training programs in Liberia. The collaboration, spearheaded by the Health Ministry, will establish the country's first dedicated dental hygiene and dental technician programs at the Todman National Institute of Medical Arts. According to a Health Ministry release, the initiative is designed to build a sustainable pipeline of skilled dental professionals within Liberia, directly tackling the nation's gap in oral and dental health services. The release says by training Liberians at home, the government is creating a lasting solution to improve access to quality dental care for all citizens and foreign residents alike. The Health Ministry disclosed that the new programs will offer intensive, practical training structured over 2 semesters. During the visit, the Indian delegation is scheduled for high-level meetings with key institutions to ensure the program's success and integration into Liberia's healthcare system. The Rubber Development Fund Incorporated is commending President Joseph Boakai for his steadfast leadership in recognizing agriculture as a driving force for Liberia's economic growth. The rubber body says since President Boakai constituted the 8 member committee to formulate the price of rubber, the rubber sector has improved significantly. The organization's statement was delivered Tuesday at the news conference in Congo Town by the Vice President of the Rubber Planters Association of Liberia, Tom Brown. The statement, a joint communication drafted by the Rubber Development Fund Incorporated and the Rubber Planters Association of Liberia, aims to highlight ongoing progress in the rubber sector of the country. Meanwhile, the chairman of the Rubber Development Fund Incorporated, Chokpa Mulba, said plans are underway to ensure rubber farmers adequately address the welfare of their employees. A 3-day technical review session on Liberia's Climate Information System Baseline Assessment Report is underway in Marshall Lower Margibi County. The gathering seeks to strengthen the foundation of Liberia's climate resilience efforts by improving the country's baseline data on climate risk and early warning capabilities. The review is being led by the Environmental Protection Agency under the Enhancing Climate Information System for Resilient Development in Liberia project. The initiative is financed by the African Development Bank, the Green Climate Fund, and the government of Liberia. According to a release, the exercise is crucial to ensuring Liberia's climate information system is technically sound, reliable, and capable of guiding decision making across key sectors. Speaking at the ceremony, CIS project manager Nelson Jella described the baseline report as a technical backbone of the entire project. He explained that although the report has already been submitted to the African Development Bank, several gaps were identified. The Liberia Electricity Regulatory Commission (LERC) has issued the amended distribution license to the Liberia Electricity Corporation. The move will now see the expansion of electricity coverage to parts of Grand Bassa, Riverside, and Bong counties. Presenting the license to the LEC Tuesday in Cinco, LERC chairman of the Board of Commissioners Claude Carter urged the LEC to stay and operate within the licensed space. Commissioner Carter hopes that the LEC will make good use of the license given to it to improve electricity access to residents of the three counties. Receiving the license, Liberia Electricity Corporation's senior customer service manager, Vamo Reeves, thanked the LERC for being a partner in progress. Mr. Reeves said the provision of the amended distribution license to the LEC will help the entity achieve Pillar 3 of its 5-year strategic plan. A 52-year-old man, Paul Willie, has been sent to the Monrovia Central Prison for manslaughter and aggravated assault. Defendant Willie, who was illegally in possession of a single-barrel shotgun, allegedly discharged the gun in the midst of a jubilant crowd, resulting to 4 persons being injured and one dead. Prior to her death, Patience Nangbo was taken to a traditional herbalist to extract the pellets that were embedded in her left leg. The incident occurred on October 26 in Yopolo Village, Fendale community, at the graduation ceremony hosted by the One Arani Togba, where defendant Willie was in attendance at the party and hid the weapon underneath his clothes. During police investigations, it was established that he took the gun from his side and attempted to discharge skywards, but the gun malfunctioned and returned the weapon under his clothes. He later attempted taking the gun from under his clothes to discharge skyward, but in the process, his index finger went to the trigger while he was removing it from his pocket. Attempting to face the tap upwards to discharge, the weapon discharged halfway through the crowd of the people who were dancing in front of him. The National Elections Commission on Tuesday hosted a delegation from Ghana's Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice to discuss the role of the Ombudsman in Liberia's electoral process. The delegation, led by Commissioner Dr. Joseph Whittal, said the visit intended to assess how the work of Liberia's Ombudsman aligns with the functions of the NEC and other public institutions. NEC Chairperson David Brown Lassana highlighted the Commission's independent role and noted that the Ombudsman verifies public assets declared by candidates and political parties. She stressed the need to strengthen the office's capacity and raise public awareness of its work. The meeting included all 7 NEC commissioners, the head of the legal session, Councillor A. Tigwe Jallo, and Deputy Executive Director of Administration, Mr. Samuel B. Cole, while the Shiraj delegation was joined by Mr. Theodore Dowentin of the European Partnership for Democracy. The Shiraj team will remain in Liberia until Friday, November 28, 2025, to engage with more stakeholders. And the executive director of the Liberia Crusader for Peace, Ambassador Julie Andy, has called for actionable steps to stop digital violence against women and girls across the country. Ambassador Andy said digital safety plays an important role in protecting the mental and emotional health of every woman and girl. She said she also called on GSM Company to put measures in place that will bring perpetrators of digital violence to book. She said government should take responsibility to enforce the SGBV law to protect women and girls from all forms of violence. Ambassador Andy also stressed the need for stronger collaboration between all lines ministries and agencies, including local leaders, to curb the menace. She made the statement at the launch of the 16 Days of Activism in Monrovia Tuesday.
News bulletin is a regular feature on Newsline. Grace will be back with the foreign developments later. As you may have heard in the news, President Joseph Walker and team have arrived in Morocco ahead of the official opening of the Meg Days Forum. The annual gathering brings together several heads of state, business leaders, and policymakers to discuss issues of global concern. Pastor Talu has been reading through an executive mansion release and now reports.
Into the release, President